So you're going home for Thanksgiving or you're having people over to your house. What bottle should you bring or put out for your guests? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back to the Bourbon Retriever. Today we're going to talk about the best bottles for your Thanksgiving feast. I got a couple ground rules here for this list when I was putting it together. Traditionally for me, when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of nice, sweet, savory desserts. So a lot of the bottles in this list have that much more darker oak, chocolatey flavors, just a nice, well-rounded dessert. I'm not really getting into bottles that are a little more floral, maybe that have the more lighter sweet. Think more of the dark molasses notes. Additionally, Thanksgiving is a time for celebration, so a lot of these bottles are going to be a little higher priced, maybe harder to get. So just keep that in mind as we're going through this list. There are some bottles here that are shelf stable, and I'll mention those as we go through it. Some of these bottles will be higher proof. We are getting into the colder months when I enjoy higher proof bourbon, and I think they'll just be perfect for fall. In addition, I do not have any rye on this list. When I think of rye, I think of closer to the Christmas, that pine taste, smell. So I'm a person who thinks we should get through Thanksgiving first before we get to Christmas. I know different opinions on that, but when I come up with my Christmas video, there'll be some rye on that one. So let's get started with the first on this list. And it is none other than Woodford Double Oak. Now this is a bottle you'll find on pretty much every shelf in America. The bottle comes in around $60. It is a double oak product and the proof is very low, I think somewhere around the 90s. Woodford Double Oak has one of the best aromas of a bourbon there is. I just love just pouring this in a glass and sitting and smelling it. It is on the lower proof, so this would be appealing to someone who is not that into bourbon. If you're going to an event that you don't have experienced bourbon drinkers, I think this would actually be a perfect one because it is straight chocolate, candy, marshmallow, a lot of those great notes, and it doesn't have a high proof, so it's not going to burn. And when you're a new person to bourbon, a lot of people think good bourbon is one that doesn't burn. So I think this would be a hit with guests. I personally don't go to that often because I don't think the texture in the mouth you get on this is that great. A lot of times it just dies in the palate, but the nose makes up for it. When this one gets empty, I'll probably look to see if I can find a store pick to replace it. Hey, next one on the list is another bottle that you can find, and it is 1910, the toasted product from Old Forester. This one is another great product, very in similar lines as the Woodford Double Oak. You're gonna get a lot of those marshmallow, candy, chocolate notes. This one comes in a little higher proof, not much though, 93. I think this has a much better texture in the mouth, viscosity, and I enjoy drinking this one more. That said, I think the Woodford Double Oak has a much better nose. And if I was going between the two, it's really hard. Just what do you value more? Do you value the aroma or do you value the mouthfeel? I think overall the nose on the Woodford beats the mouthfeel on the Old Forester 1910. So I would probably go Woodford Double Oak for most people. But it is really a toss-up and you can't go wrong with either. Hey, next on this list is a wild turkey product. You would not be Thanksgiving if you did not have a turkey product there. There's many different options you can choose from. A lot of people might go with Wild Turkey 101 or Rare Breed. Those are great options, but for me, those are a little too fruit forward. And I want something that's a little darker, more char on it, and that's why I go with the Russell Reserve single barrel. You can find non-store picks for about 50 bucks, maybe 60 in your store. Store picks are a little more expensive, closer to the 80 range plus. I think this is one of the best values out there, and I'd highly recommend everyone buying one if you can. This comes in at 110, which is the sweet spot for proof. It gives you the nice viscosity that you're looking for without just blowing out your palate. So as you're out there hunting which turkey to bring home, I would recommend the Russell Reserve single barrel, but you really can't go wrong with any turkey product. All right, the next one is the Discovery 11. Some people have heard about the turducken. It's where you take a bunch of different types of, birds and you stuff them into one another, and I think the Discovery 11 is the turducken of Thanksgiving. Now, why might you ask? If you look on the side, it lists the mash bills. It doesn't say what distillery, but if you know what the mash bills are, a little bit of researching on Google, you'll find out that this is predominantly wild turkey product. And it's coming in at 13 years old, that wild turkey product. So out there in the community, people are absolutely hunting Russell Reserve 13. And to me, this is a findable Russell Reserve 13. It's not 100% Russell Reserve 13. It is blended with other products, but I absolutely love this product. I think everyone should go buy it. It is expensive. It's coming out at around $140 MSRP. That, you know, is not on the cheap side, but I definitely think you get your value for the money. And especially because you just can't find Russell's 13s. They just aren't on the shelf. And if they are, you're paying $300. So if you're out there hunting for the Russell's 13, you can't find it. The Discovery 11 is a nice alternative. It is going to run you $140, but it is cheaper than the Russell Reserve secondary pricing. All right, next on this list is an Amburana product. This one is Barrel Amburana. There's a bunch of different types out there. I know Starlight does one. They call it the cigar batch. You have RD1 has one. The Rio was Amburana with a little bit of honey in it. And Amburana, to me, it gives you that cinnamon punch. A lot of different fall desserts, different meals, they will call for cinnamon. And if you're looking for a cinnamon punch, this is the product. There have been a lot of Amburana products that have come out in the last year. To me, it almost seems like the pumpkin spice latte of whiskey. We'll see if every year these distilleries release Amburana products around the fall, similar to how Starbucks does their pumpkin spice latte release. Amburana isn't for everyone though. It is not your typical bourbon flavors. It is a lot of cinnamon with that sweet sugar you get from, I don't know if anyone's ever had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it reminds me of that milk sugar you get at the end of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which isn't necessarily a flavor that everyone enjoys. If you're gonna get an Amburana product though, I would recommend the barrel one. It might be harder to get. I know it was a limited release and stores might be empty. I would recommend, if you haven't had Amburana before, go to a bar and try it first because it is just very different. And next on the list is Elijah Craig C923. This one fits a couple of the buckets for Thanksgiving. It is the C batch this year, which is coming in at 13 years, 7 months. People across the country are trying to hunt this bottle down. It is hard to get. And Thanksgiving, it is time to bring out your nice bottles. It is time to share pours with people who maybe have not been able to get the bottle. If you put this out on your counter, your bourbon enthusiast guests will absolutely adore it. In addition, it comes at a nice high proof. This is one of the higher proofs Elijah Craig's put out in a while. I think it comes in at 133. So it's a nice, good, heavy pour. If you're gonna be outside for a bit, pour yourself a glass, go sit out there, and it'll help warm you up just a little bit. Get that Kentucky hug. For me and my family, how we cook the turkey every year is we go out in the yard, put a big bonfire, and the turkey goes on top of it with rotisserie, and it takes some time. You have to man it, keep putting butter on it to keep it from drying out. So this will be the pour I pour in my glass as I go out there and man the turkey. But fingers crossed, I don't burn it this year. All right, the next 3 bottles on my list are pretty hard to find bottles, but to me, they help signify the turkey Thanksgiving season. And the first is a stag. Around fall, a lot of people go hunting, and the stag logo is an actual deer. So what a better bottle than stag to bring out in the fall. The buck on here is a 12-point buck. Probably harder to hunt a stag these days than to find a 12-point buck. Leave in the comments if you're an avid hunter which you think is easier to find. I'm gonna go that the stag is harder to find. And same earlier with Elijah Craig being a celebration bottle, stag is a celebration bottle. It has become very hard for people to get, and when you bring it out, people just love to drink it. And Thanksgiving is just a time to share pours with friends and family, so I think this is a great bottle to crack during then. All right, second to last bottle on the list is a Wild Turkey 101 12-year. These are not distributed in America, they're Japanese only release, so this bottle isn't necessarily the easiest one to get. I know at some stores you can get them, they run about $150. To me, I think that is a good bottle to get. So why did I bring out this Wild Turkey product when earlier I said the 101 isn't a bottle I'd reach for? With the extra age you get on this bottle, you get that nice oak char, and you don't get that oak note on much Wild Turkey products, and it's exactly the profile I'm looking for when it becomes fall. Now, $150, that is not necessarily the cheapest bottle, but again, it is Thanksgiving. It's a time maybe to bring out your nicer bottles, and I think this is one that if you haven't been able to travel to Japan, which many people can't. I think this is another bottle that you bring out for your guests and they would enjoy. And for me personally, this is one of the 2 to 3 bottles I will bring home for Thanksgiving this year. All right, before I get to the last bottle on this list, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subs. We can do a live stream with everyone, bring on my dog Watson, and just have a good time with the community. Last bottle on this list, it's a bottle that you can't get anymore. It also wasn't that well loved in the community, but I personally am a big fan, and it is the Wild Turkey 1 Master Keep. This came out, I think, 2 to 3 years ago. It's 101 proof. And what is really cool about this bottle is that it's toasted. There aren't any Wild Turkey products out there that are toasted, so this is a very nice, unique experience. And it brings all the things that I want in Thanksgiving. It gives me a Wild Turkey bottle, the Thanksgiving and the turkey. It gives me the nice toasted marshmallow notes that I want during this time of fall year. And at 101 proof, brings enough proof, the viscosity and mouthfeel that I really enjoy. Now, a lot of people in the community aren't a big fan of this because they think it's a little too tannic. I haven't had this bottle in over a year. This is my Thanksgiving bottle. I break it out every year at Thanksgiving. So maybe it has gone a little tannic, we'll see. But when I had it last year for the first time, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So those are the bottles I'm gonna bring for Thanksgiving. Leave in the comments below if there's a bottle that wasn't on my list that you think would be great for Thanksgiving. And before you leave, check out this video or this one. And until next time, cheers.